One of Fox News' top hosts, Laura Ingraham anchors the Ingraham Angle nightly. Conservative American television personality, political analyst, and author. Her personal life is noteworthy too, as she never married and solely has adopted children. Meet Laura Ingraham's kids without a husband. Guatemalan Maria. Maria Caroline, Laura Ingraham's oldest child, is first, who inspires herself. Their journey began in a Guatemalan orphanage and has developed into one of love, resilience, and purpose. Maria was born in Guatemala on May 11, 2005, and was orphaned. Laura Ingraham, a conservative media star, brought her home at 3 years old, changing her life. Ingraham calls her Guatemala trip one of her most life-changing experiences. She remembered the first time she met Maria, a tiny 3-year-old, holding her stuff in a plastic bag at the orphanage entryway. She said the adoption was the best thing she'd ever done and the most incredible few days. She saw it as more than an adoption, but the start of a life-changing journey. After moving to the U.S., Maria and her mother began a journey of learning and connection. Laura has praised how Maria learned English and she learned Spanish, showing how they both embraced their cultures. Their discovery strengthened their friendship. Maria has matured into a brilliant, kind young woman. She is 20 and studying nursing, a job that shows her empathy and passion to assisting others. Laura has documented her daughter's high school graduation and college freshman year. Maria attended the show and Laura stated that her daughter would attend Texas A&M University, a touching Ingraham moment. Another step towards her daughter's independence. Maria gives back outside of academia. She mentors and encourages youth cheering and gymnastics groups with the same compassion that shaped her tale. Laura Ingraham's motherhood shows her gentler, more human side than her strong ideas and dominating presence on TV. She considers her children her greatest blessing, and her relationship with Maria proves that family goes beyond biology. Laura and Maria have constructed a grateful and growing life through faith, love, and tenacity. A few years later, Laura adopted her second Russian child. From Russia, Laura Ingraham's second adopted kid and first son, Michael Dmitry, is significant to her. Michael was born in Russia on June 1, 2008, and his story of endurance and love transcends borders and politics. He was 13 months old when Laura began adopting him. He was young and oblivious of the long voyage ahead. Although Ingraham had adopted Maria from Guatemala, she wanted to expand her family again. It wasn't easy to bring Michael home. International adoptions became more challenging in the late 2000s as U.S.-Russia relations deteriorated. Administrative hurdles, lengthy wait times, and political red tape plagued Ingraham. She stayed true to her strategy. In an interview, she described her frustration at seeing children ensnared in international tensions. She said adoption must first and foremost be about children. What benefits them? Nations should never use children as negotiating chips. They're not products. Ingraham said the adoption approval was one of her most emotional times. She saw in her son the same purpose and hope that had driven her to motherhood years later when she met him in Russia. Taking him in her arms made her feel connected. Michael, 17, has become a bright and curious young guy. Friends of the Ingrahams called Michael lively, kind, and driven. He shares his mother's tenacity and independence. He enjoys sports, especially football and basketball, and engages in school and community activities that suit his enthusiastic personality. Laura praises and enjoys her son, keeping most of his life private to avoid media attention. She calls Michael the heartbeat of their home, saying he brings laughter and balance. She returned to Russia with Nikolai, her third child. Russian Nikolai. Nikolai Peter Ingraham, Laura Ingraham's third child, comes from frigid Moscow to the U.S. Her path is one of quiet courage, unexpected beginnings, and being part of a loving, multicultural family. In 2011, Laura Ingraham adopted Nikolai, a Russian child born in 2010. This decision started a new chapter for her. Laura brought Nikolai home as the third adoption in 3 years, after his Guatemalan sister and Russian brother. Nikolai enhanced the family's global tapestry. The youngest sibling, Russian-born, adapted to American life, sounds, routines, and rhythms of his single mother's meticulously crafted house. Nikolai is a turning point at 15 in 2025. His age allows him to reflect and explore. Mom keeps him private and only says he likes swimming. She gave Nikolai a calm growth platform by keeping him private, develop his own interests. Laura Ingraham is a single mother of 3. She's had several relationships and was engaged, but unlike other conservatives, she doesn't want to get married. Relationships and engagement. Laura Ingraham's personal life has made news for years, yet she keeps it secret. She has publicly dated some people, but none of them married. A memorable connection was her 2005 engagement. Ingraham met conservative commentator Dinesh D'Souza at the Dartmouth Review in the early 1980s while at Dartmouth College. Their political and journalistic interests brought them together, and there were rumors that they were engaged, but they denied it. Their friendship outlasted passion. In 2014, Ingraham wrote a letter defending D'Souza, calling him one of the finest human beings I have ever met. In April 2004, Ingraham decided to marry businessman James V. Reyes. The engagement seemed like a new chapter in her life after meeting on a blind date. Ingraham was diagnosed with breast cancer and had surgery and therapy just before the wedding. The condition hampered her health and engagement. She later said that the wedding would not happen and that they would not reunite. Ingraham has often discussed how cancer diagnosis and treatment affected her life, priorities, and future goals. The 2005 engagement was not only a love milestone, but a turning point in her personal and family life. Ingraham has been associated to numerous famous people, including former U.S. It was unclear if Robert Torricelli and Keith Olbermann were related. Ingraham had changed her life by the time she adopted Maria from Guatemala in 2008 and Michael and Nikolai from Russia in later years. Ingraham also values family and tradition. She also admitted that her path wasn't married then kids. Instead, she noted family can take various forms. While raising her 3 children, she recounts her breast cancer battle and how she overcame it alone. Breast cancer journey. In April 2005, Laura Ingraham's life changed drastically before she adopted her children. A routine physical test revealed a breast lump. What began as uneasiness at 4 became a life-changing battle. She had severe invasive ductal carcinoma. A week after diagnosis, she had her first of 2 surgeries. After the initial operation, lymph node testing showed no malignancy spread, a crucial advantage for her. After surgery, chemotherapy began. 6 weeks of therapy and radiation ended in October 2005. Ingraham said she relied on her faith, family, and friends and listeners throughout the process. She said she felt the power of prayer and the incredible outpouring of support from throughout the nation. Yet she refused victimhood. Instead of survivor, Ingraham prefers thriver to show that the event wasn't just her. It transformed her life goals. This approach helped her through cancer. In interviews, she said the cancer fight clarified her purpose and made her priorities. She said it was terrible but amazing. Life after cancer can be better than before, she remarked. After treatment, she realized she wanted to be a mother and adopted her children. Her public speaking has also focused on breast cancer testing. The ordeal inspired her to have children, become independent, and build a home. She has kept many medical specifics private, focusing on the lessons she learned. She wanted to be remembered as a mom or friend with breast cancer, not as a patient. After treatment, she became a mother and advocated for adoption. Pro-apolitical adoption. Laura Ingraham is a conservative media icon. Adoption advocacy is one of her most influential activities. As a single mother of 3 internationally adopted children, she promotes love and homemaking over politics in adoption. She realized how tough adoption was and how it affected the child when she tried to adopt from Russia. She stated adoption must first be about the children. Nations should never use children as negotiating chips. They're not products. She describes international adoption as a fundamental injustice when geopolitical games or bureaucratic standoffs are involved. She knows the obstacles from adopting Guatemalan and Russian children. Ingraham launched the Adopt a New Attitude project to raise awareness of the human toll of the Russian government's prohibition on American adoptions during her campaign. She added diplomatic reprisal shouldn't harm the children left behind by no fault of their own. She has decried how even one adoptive parent abuse might cause sweeping bans, leaving thousands of children without family. It's amazing how Ingraham balances her public presence and personal dedication. She's frequently candid about politics on air. She boldly separates her normal commentary from adoption. She argues adoption should transcend party boundaries, that healing homes or orphanages are for children, not international posturing. She stated prohibiting the adoption of any kid into a loving, safe household is selfish and cruel. She discussed international adoption problems for single women, as agencies and governments prefer two-parent households. Ingraham wants to make a loving, faithful, and permanent home for her adoptive children. She is recognized for discussing her parenting philosophy and employs this approach on her children. Even if Laura Ingraham has no partner, her parenting philosophy will intrigue you if you meet her kids. It incorporates her conservative beliefs, spirituality, and the challenges of raising 3 internationally adopted children. She instills responsibility and independence in her kids. Her public statements show that she believes children thrive when they know what's expected of them and are encouraged to stand on their own while being morally grounded. She always advocates teaching kids to think critically and act ethically, instead of just being told what to think and do. Ingraham said that while her profession is high-profile and fast-paced, parenting requires greater steadiness and connection. She emphasizes discipline and accountability. Her children learn the value of effort, ethics, and faith. Catholicism informs her parenting style. She has said that faith in her home helps her children develop morals and a sense of purpose. Yet she balances individuality and structure. Ingraham wants her children to examine their reality, stand by their beliefs, and become character-driven, not conformists. She said raising children as a single parent was the toughest thing she'd ever accomplish, realizing the additional challenges and responsibilities in such situation. That recognition shows her faith. Independence doesn't mean ignoring duty. She practices gratitude and introspection as a parent. She doesn't reveal her private life, but she stated she encourages her kids to share positive things from their day every night. She also embraces her kids' cultures, but enables them grow and share within their family. Laura loves faith and motherhood and talks about them often in addition to her parenting abilities. Laura Ingraham's Roman Catholic beliefs guided her adoption and parenting. She became Catholic after studying her spirituality as a young adult. Ingraham says her faith guides her life as a single mother of 3. Ingraham calls parenthood a calling. She has spoken about her desire to be a mother before her adoptions and how her 2005 cancer diagnosis inspired her. As a single parent, she says her faith helped her through the hardest times. "My Catholic faith is extremely essential to me," she said on Mother's Day. "Without that, everything would be really hard for me." At home, she guides her children's character, morality, and purpose with faith. After growing up in a faith-based family, she values gratitude, hard work, humility, and service. She wants to raise successful children and intentional people. She wants to be the best mom possible. "I want my kids to be strong, joyful, and ready for life." Ingraham guides her parenting with faith, emphasizing thankfulness, introspection, and responsibility rather than entitlement despite her fame. Laura Ingraham is a Republican icon and Fox News anchor despite her personal struggles. Conservative legend. Laura Ingraham has earned a reputation for conservative criticism and media savvy. Her remarkable rise has made her a right-of-center American broadcasting leader. She moved into journalism with an edge after working as a Reagan administration speechwriter and a Supreme Court legal clerk. Her first large public voice was on talk radio. She created The Laura Ingraham Show in 2001 to spread her views nationwide. Her conservative criticism on cultural, political, and social topics resonated with audiences. She became a Fox News Channel contributing speechwriter in 2007, and by October 2017, she had her own primetime position with The Ingraham Perspective. The podcast mixes critique, conservatism, and insightful interviews. She has also shaped the U.S. conservative movement beyond her media presence. Immigration, federal regulation, cultural change, and free change controversies are her topics. Since Laura Ingraham is single, you've met her kids. She loves and raises her 3 children with faith, responsibility, and a distinct perspective. Will Ingraham marry or adopt more children? Comment your thoughts. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.